way. So hope you remember what we saw in last session. I think we stopped with Macaulay's minute, right? Let me tell you a few more facts about Macaulay's minute, and then we'll proceed with the next acts, which helped English to have a strong place in India. Fine. So let me start again with Macaulay's minute. So it was an act also called as English Education Act 1835. The main aim of this act was the reason for Macaulay's minute was to announce English as the official language of India, right? And this was presented on 2nd February 1835 by Thomas Babington Macaulay. At that time, he was the uh, member of, I think, once again, I'll just. He was not the Governor General. William Penting was the Governor General. Macaulay was an official of, one of the officials of British rule in India. Fine. So, and we discussed about William Penting and Macaulay in last class. I told you William Penting was the one who asked Thomas Babington Macaulay to prepare a minute on Indian education, because there was a clash between two set of people, two set of supporters for languages. One we call it as Orientalists, and the others we call it as Anglicists. The Anglicists, they say they support English education in India, and they wanted the higher education to be taught in English. Whereas the Orientalists, they supported the regional languages, right? The vernaculars. The okay, English can be taught as a language, but the higher education, not only higher education, entire education should be, I mean, particularly the primary education should be taught only in the local vernacular. That was the argument of Orientalists. Supposingly, what happened was the Orientalists were supported by the British scholars, and the Anglicists were supported by Indian scholars. So, one example I have given, Rajaram Mohan Rai supported, being an Indian, Rajaram Mohan Rai supported the Anglicist education, English education in India. And Baron Hastings, a British scholar, he supported the vernacular education. Okay, this was the clash before this act, Indian Education Act. So, to in order to stop this clash and to make it uh, or to to bring this clash into a conclusion, William Penting asked Thomas Babington Macaulay to prepare a minute on Indian education. So, accepting his request, Macaulay presented, and it was a long-term desire of Macaulay to proceed with this kind of minute, right? Actually, he was not waiting for it, actually, but this happened, right? As it is, it happened. Okay. According to this Macaulay's minute, it was recommended to reallocate the funds. That was number one. It was recommended by Macaulay to reallocate the funds, because earlier 1 lakh rupees was allocated, right? And the 1 lakh rupees was shared for all the languages. English was also getting enough fund from the 1 lakh. The other languages like Persian or Sanskrit, the other local vernaculars which were used to teach higher education in schools and universities, were also receiving funds from the 1 lakh rupees allocation. And Macaulay recommended to stop all the funds to other languages but only to English. So this was his first recommendation, reallocation of funds. And he tried a lot of efforts. I mean, he tried with a lot of things to prove his minute worth. What happened was earlier, previously, much support was given to Muslim and Hindu education in in Indian schools and Indian higher education institutions. Muslim education and Hindu education were all given supports, but Macaulay wanted to stop all the support. Right? Somebody is raising their hand. Do you have any doubts? Monica Celeste Kavita Sivakumar. Any doubts? Shall I proceed?
No, sir. Yes, sorry, sir. You
Okay,
can
okay.
proceed.
That is okay. That is okay. Fine. So this is where I stopped. So previously, the Muslim education and Hindu education in India was given much support, but Macaulay recommended to stop all the support and to support only in English language, right? And Sanskrit language teaching, Persian language teaching were completely stopped after this Macaulay's minutes, right? And that is was his aim also. Then English became the language of administration, and that is what Macaulay recommended. It was accepted, but William Penting, as being a good, I mean, he's a humanitarian, right? You would have studied William Penting. அவர் வந்து ஒரு நல்ல மனுஷன். He did not accept everything proposed by Macaulay, but major proposal of Macaulay were accepted. But William Penting, uh, he what he did was he changed a certain method of applying the recommendations. Right? He applied it very smoothly on Indians. Okay, so English became the official language of India, right? According to the Macaulay's minute. மெக்காலே இதில் சொன்னது தான் அதில் இந்தியன் எஜுகேஷன் அவர் கிரிட்டிசைஸ் பண்ணதுனால அது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஐ ஹவ் கிவன் தி கோட் தேர். ஐ திங்க் வி ஹவ் டிஸ்கஸ் தட் earlier in last class. He was saying that he wanted to make a class of persons. They are Indian in blood and color, but English in taste, in opinions and morals and in intellect. அவர் ஒரு செட் ஆஃப் பீப்புளை கிரியேட் பண்ணணும்னு நினைச்சாரு. எப்படி அப்படின்னா, இட் இஸ் பை கிவிங் சர்டன் டெம்டேஷன்ஸ். சி டெம்டேஷன் எப்படி நம்மளை டெம்ப் பண்ணாங்க, இந்தியன்ஸ் எப்படி டெம்ப் பண்ணாங்கன்னா சிம்பிள். ஓகே, நீங்கள் இங்கிலீஷ் படிச்சீங்கன்னா யூ வில் பி அப்பாயிண்டட் இன் ஹை பொசிஷன்ஸ், ஹை ரேங்க்ஸ் இன் பிரிட்டிஷ் ரூல், ரைட்? இன் பிரிட்டிஷ் அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன்ஸ் Indian were given much importance, which means they were given a lot of important roles to play in administration. So அதெல்லாம் என்னாச்சு, it create a kind of illusionary effect in people's mind. What they thought was, okay, if we study English or if we have English education, then obviously we can have a settled life, right? We don't need to suffer with the independence movement. இதெல்லாம் நம்ம சஃபர் ஆக வேண்டியதில்லை, ரைட்? அந்த ஓகே, இன் அ வே இட் ஸ்டாப் தி நேஷனல் ஸ்பிரிட், ரைட்? ஒரு பேட்ரியாட்டிசம் எல்லாத்தையுமே குறைச்சிச்சு, ரைட்? மெக்காலே வாஸ் அ வெரி இன்டெலிஜென்ட் மேன், ரைட்? நிறைய விஷயங்களை அவர் ஒரு மாதிரி கொண்டு வந்தார். அதர்வைஸ் நம்ம ரொம்ப காலத்துக்கு அட்லீஸ்ட் ஒரு another 50 years முன்னாடியாவது நமக்கு இண்டிபெண்டன்ஸ் வந்திருக்கும். பட் மெக்காலே ஸ்டாப்ட் ஆல் தோஸ் திங்ஸ் பை பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் ஆல் தீஸ் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் illusions and all these kind of temptations created by மெக்காலே. ஃபைன். ஸோ இது வந்து எப்படி பார்க்குறோம் அப்படின்னா, he wanted to create a class of persons who are Indian in by birth they are Indian, but in thinking they are English because he is teaching them English. That is one thing, right? So after the proposal of Macaulay's minute, the funding was immediately stopped, and East India Printing Company, they stopped printing Arabic and Sanskrit books. Completely they stopped. Okay, so this was the first success of Macaulay's minute, right? இவரோட ஆர்குமெண்ட் வேற என்ன அப்படின்னா, வெஸ்டர்ன் லேர்னிங் superior and nothing can be equal to the western learning, right? For a good human being or ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு ஹியூமனை டெவலப் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா அதுக்கு வெஸ்டர்ன் லேர்னிங் தான் சரி அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஆர்கியூ பண்ணார். அண்ட் ஸோ தட் வாஸ் இஸ் மேஜர் ஆர்குமெண்ட். மீடியம் ஆஃப் இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் ஆஃப் ஹையர் எஜுகேஷன் ஷுட் பி இன் இங்கிலீஷ் அப்படின்றது இவரோட அனதர் ஆர்குமெண்ட். ஓகே, தென் ஹையர் எஜுகேஷனில் இங்கிலீஷ் கொஞ்சம் இவரோட ரெக்கமெண்டேஷனுக்கு அப்புறம் கம்ப்ளீட்டாக இன்வால்வ் ஆயிடுச்சுன்னு பார்க்குறோம். தென் இவரோட இன்னொரு கோட் we have studied yesterday, right? That I have mentioned in the last point on the screen. I have conversed both here and at home with men distinguished by their proficiency in the Eastern tongues. And he further continues, I have never found one among them who could deny that a single shelf of good European library was worth the whole native literature of India and Arabia. Right? I told you yesterday, it doesn't mean that Macaulay had studied all the works of Indian literature, right? He had read every books in Indian literature அப்படின்றது கிடையாது. But he just wanted to degrade Indian writings, right? And particularly, he did not like Sanskrit writing. In those days, that was popular, right? Sanskrit writing, Sanskrit teaching were popular, but he didn't like that completely. So he just wanted to avoid that education in India because this will promote their rule to the next level, right? It will bring their rule to the next level. Okay, that was Macaulay's idea. And I have added two more points with Macaulay's minute here. I'll just show this. I think this will be important in its perspective. One is downward filtration. You know what is downward filtration? Have you heard of this term, downward filtration? Yeah, excuse me, 1 minute. ஸோ டவுன்வர்ட் ஃபில்ட்ரேஷன் என்ன அப்படின்னா ஒரு கோட் படித்தோம் இல்லையா, ஐ வாண்டட் டு கிரியேட் a class of person by birth in Indian in color and birth, but in intellect they are British அப்படின்னு படிச்சோம் இல்லையா, அதான் அந்த downward filtration, right? So he advocated that the British government should educate only few Indians. This is really important. அவரோட ஐடியா பாருங்களேன், மெக்காலேயோட ஐடியா பாருங்களேன். The British should teach only a few Indians. And what will happen after educating a few Indians, select Indians, and they will in turn they will work for the British, right? In turn they will teach the rest of the masses. That is what his idea. இதுக்கு பேர் தான் downward filtration, right? I think this will be an important point. Downward filtration mean Macaulay wanted to teach only a few select Indians, not everybody. அதுவும் அந்த select Indians அப்படின்னா ரேண்டமா செலக்ட் பண்றது கிடையாது. Whoever will be supporters of the British, only they will be taught in English. They will be given a proper education, and they will be given they can become the government officials, right? And they will be given promotion. All the privileges will be given to those select persons, because after making them English in idea, after making them English in intellect, what will happen? In turn, they will make the rest of the Indians Englishized, right? Okay, this was called as downward filtration. Then he further continued, and in his minute there is another point. இது எதுக்கு நான் திரும்ப திரும்ப சொல்லிட்டே இருக்கிறேன்னா, you should remember all this, right? So how we are even during after the colonization was completely set up in India, how we were still suppressed அப்படின்றது நம்ம புரிஞ்சுக்கணும்ன்றதுக்காக. Finally, Macaulay mentioned in his minute, like a day would come when the vernacular languages would die a natural death. அப்படின்னு முடிச்சிருக்காரு. அப்படின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்னா, okay, we started teaching certain select Indians English, and they will be, and we started teaching certain Indians in English, and they will in turn will teach the remaining masses, right, English, and very soon the entire society will become English society in intellect, right? After that, what would happen? After that, the day would come when the vernacular languages, the local languages, will have a natural death, and nobody need to work for the death of the vernacular. It will automatically do, right? How these people are done with some European languages when they were in peak. யூரோப்ல அவங்களோட ஒரு பீக் டைம்ல எப்படி வெர்னாக்குலர், ஸ்காண்டினேவியன் அந்த மாதிரி லாங்குவேஜஸ்லாம் எப்படி அழிச்சு முடிச்சாங்களோ அதே மாதிரி, அல்லது எப்படி இந்த ரிட்டன் ஸ்கிரிப்ட்ஸ் ஃபார் அதர் கிளாசிக்கல் லாங்குவேஜஸ்லாம் இல்லாம பண்ணாங்களோ அதே மாதிரி, they thought that all the Indian vernaculars would have a natural death. But fortunately, we were really strong, right? Even after independence, Hindi cannot become the official language. Fine, I mean common language. Okay, these were all about Macaulay's minute, right? I think I have made all this clear. Okay, then the next important point that we need to study in English in India was Wood's Dispatch. I just started in last class. Wood's Dispatch அப்படின்றது, there was a English person called Wood. His full name is Sir Charles Wood. He was the president of Board of Control of Education in India, and he played an important role in spreading English language here. And இந்த Wood's Dispatchல நமக்கான பாசிட்டிவ் ஃபேக்டர் என்ன அப்படின்னா, he promoted the female education in India. Women education in India அப்படின்றது சர் சார்ல்ஸ் வுட்டோட டிஸ்பேட்ச்க்கு அப்புறம் தான் இங்கே வந்துச்சு, இந்தியாவுக்கு வந்துச்சு. ஓகே, இந்த டிஸ்பேட்ச்னா என்ன அப்படின்னா, மேபி அ மெயில் ஆர் நாட் மெயில், மேபி அ மெசேஜ் கம்யூனிகேட்டட் டு his higher official. In 1854, he sent a message to Lord Dalhousie. Dalhousie was the Governor General of India at that time, and Mr. Charles Wood sent a message to Lord Dalhousie, maybe a letter, and that letter he communicated or he mentioned for female education in India, for seeking permission for women education in India, as well as certain points to promote English in India in a different idea, with a different ideology, right? Okay, according to Wood's suggestion, it goes like this: the primary schools in India must adapt vernacular languages. This is important, please note down. According to Wood's dispatch, it is recommended to have vernacular languages in primary schools. The primary education should be taught in vernacular languages, local language, any language. அவங்களோட local vernacular எதுவோ அதில் தான் டீச் பண்ணணும், ஆரம்பிக்கணும் அப்படின்றது Wood's dispatchோட recommendation. Then high schools must adapt to Anglo vernacular language. Anglo vernacular language is simple. That means a mixture of English with the vernacular, whatever the languages. Say for example, Tamil Nadu அப்படின்னா தமிழ் பிரைமரி எஜுகேஷன் தமிழ்ல தான் இருக்கணும், நேட்டிவ் டங்க்ல. தென் ஹை ஸ்கூல் எஜுகேஷன் எப்படி இருக்கணும், இங்கிலீஷும் இருக்கணும் பிளஸ் நேட்டிவ் டங்கும் இருக்கணும். Hope you can understand this. So high schools must adapt Anglo vernacular language, and at higher education, at college level, English should be the medium of instruction. So this was Wood's dispatch, and the fact, still we are following this same. இப்போ வரைக்கும் இந்தியாவில் ஃபாலோ பண்ணக்கூடிய சிஸ்டம் வந்து இதுதான், Wood's dispatch தான். Primarily we start with local vernacular. Sometimes it might have been changed in certain point, and right, in certain set of education it might have been changed. Otherwise, primary education was completely with vernacular language. High school must adopt Anglo vernacular language, and at college level English should be the medium of instruction. And this was Wood's dispatch recommendation, right? Okay, and இந்த இதுல வேற பிளஸ் என்ன ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன்ல வேற என்ன ஆட் பண்ணார் அப்படின்னா, vocational education and women education, இது ரெண்டையுமே ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் பண்ணார். So the first Englishman who stressed women education in India was Sir Charles Wood, right? Okay, இதுல ஃபேவரபிள் பாயிண்ட்னா அதுதான், ரைட்? அண்ட் ஒரு அந்த Wood's dispatchக்கு அப்புறம் என்ன ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன், இவரோட ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன்ல வேற என்னெல்லாம் பாசிட்டிவ், மீன் நாட் பாசிட்டிவ் ஃபேக்டர்ஸ், த ஃபேவரபிள் ஃபேக்டர்ஸ் டுவர்ட்ஸ் இங்கிலீஷ் எஜுகேஷன் இன் இந்தியா அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா, இங்கிலீஷ் இன் இந்தியா அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா, என்டையர் அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன், இன் என்டையர் பிரிட்டிஷ் அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன், இங்கிலீஷ் பிகேம் தி அஃபிஷியல் லாங்குவேஜ். முன்னாடி ஆல்ரெடி நம்ம பார்த்தோம் இங்கிலீஷ் எப்போ அஃபிஷியல் லாங்குவேஜா மாறுச்சு அப்படின்னு. இப்போ Wood's dispatchக்கு அப்புறம் கம்ப்ளீட் அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் பிகேம் இங்கிலீஷ். வேற எந்த வெர்னாக்குலரும் அவங்க சப்போர்ட் பண்ணவே இல்லை. Complete administration of British was English after Wood's dispatch. Okay, then this had played an important role in the developmental activities of language, right? Also, we all know that already missionaries were there, right? Missionaries were given permission even before Macaulay's Minute, and they were sanctioned some amount for their promotion, both for their language and for their religion. And Wood's dispatch recommended to invite more missionaries to India, right? So that more schools could be started, right? Through which the language could easily spread and fast. ரொம்ப வேகமாகவும் அதிகமாகவும் இங்கிலீஷை ஸ்ப்ரெட் பண்றதுக்கு மிஷனரிஸ் தான் ஒரே வழி அப்படின்னு சொல்லி Wood's dispatchல உள்ள ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன் இருந்துச்சு. And there are many points. I have mentioned all the points in the notes. I'll share this notes after the class, right? You can follow this. I'll just mention one or two here. And in one of the points, Charles Wood says, English education, in English education, the provinces should be created. Provinces in the sense, say for example, if there are 20 states in British India, I'm just telling it for an example. It was not the correct number. If there were 20 states in India, each state must have a province. And in each province, there must be segregations, like it should be divided into various districts. ஒரு ஸ்டேட்டையும் டிஸ்ட்ரிக்டா பிரிப்போம் இல்லையா, அது மாதிரி ஒரு ப்ராவின்ஸையும் வேரியஸ் நிறைய டிவிஷன்ஸா பிரிக்கணும். In each district there must be a school, right? And Bombay, Madras and Calcutta, in these three provinces, universities should be opened. These are all Woods dispatchல இருக்கக்கூடிய recommendations, right? In Woods dispatchல இதெல்லாம் அது அவர் கொடுத்த recommendation. என்னெல்லாம் சொன்னேன்? நிறைய provinces create பண்ணணும். Each province should be divided into various districts, and each district should have a school, English school. And Bombay, Calcutta and Madras, in these three provinces, universities should be opened, right? And those universities should be modeled on London University. London University model வச்சு இங்க ஓபன் பண்ணணும். And every district should have one government school, and government grant can be given to private schools affiliated to the government. இதெல்லாமே வுட்ஸ் டிஸ்பேட்ச்ல. இந்த எய்டட் ஸ்கூல்ஸ், எய்டட் காலேஜ்னு சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, இந்த இந்த டேர்ம் வந்து வுட்ஸ் டிஸ்பேட்ச்க்கு அப்புறம் தான் வந்துச்சு, right? Okay. And also Woods, one of the important recommendation of Charles Wood was in his dispatch, Indians should also be taught in mother tongue. There should be a choice, mother tongue education அல்லது English education அப்படின்றதுக்கான சாய்ஸை கொடுத்ததும் Woods dispatch தான், right? And there are some recommendations. I have mentioned all those recommendations. It helped to create Indians as civil servants. இந்த IPS, IAS அப்படின்ற இந்த சிவில் சர்வீசஸ்லாம் வந்துச்சு இல்லையா, UPSC நீ வச்சிருக்கிறோம்ல, இந்த மெத்தடும் Woods dispatchல உள்ள ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன் தான், right? Only after Woods recommendation, Woods dispatch, Indians were accepted by the British government to serve as civil servants. சிவில் சர்வெண்டா சர்வீஸ் பண்றதுக்கு Woods dispatch ஓட ரெக்கமெண்டேஷனுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் பெர்மிஷன் கொடுத்தாங்க. Okay, then education department, அப்புறம் one government school, all these recommendations I have mentioned in notes part, you can just follow it. I don't want to waste much of the time. Then according to Woods dispatch, according to his recommendation, universities were opened in Calcutta, Madras, and instead of Bombay, they opened an university in Punjab and Allahabad. I mentioned the years. University of Calcutta and University of Madras were opened in 1857, and University of Bombay was opened in 1882, and University of Allahabad was opened in 1887. Okay. Then these were all the important points in Woods dispatch, right? Okay, then after Woods dispatch, there was a commission called Hunter Commission, right? Hunter is the name of a British man, and on his name there was a commission called Hunter Commission. Hunter Commission happened in 1882 and 1883, right? Okay, this Hunter Commission was appointed by a British Governor General, Viceroy Lord Ripon. Lord Ripon was the Governor General of India, and on his recommendation, there was a commission appointed under the leadership of Mr. Hunter, right? Mr. Hunter. The objective of this commission was to check whether the Woods dispatch was properly followed. 1854 Woods dispatch ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன் கொடுத்தாரு இல்லையா, அந்த ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன்ஸ் எல்லாத்தையுமே லார்ட் டல்ஹவுசி applied it on Indian education, and there were many institutions which did not follow Woods dispatch, and they started working autonomously. So to stop that and to have a control over all the educational institutions in India, Lord Ripon decided to formulate a commission under the leadership of Mr. Hunter. And that Hunter Commission worked for 2 years, and they submitted one report, and that report was called as Hunter Education Commission 1882, right? Okay, and this was to check, right, and this was to make sure the implementation of Woods dispatch 1854. Because of the non-implementation of Woods dispatch, Lord Ripon had to formulate this committee. Okay, இதுதான் அதோடைய ஆரிஜின். இதை வந்து யார் ஹெட் பண்றாரு அப்படின்னா சர் வில்லியம் வில்சன் ஹண்டர், ரைட்? அண்ட் தேர் வேர் ஆல்சோ எ ஃபியூ மோர் பிரிட்டிஷ் ஸ்காலர்ஸ், அண்ட் தேர் வேர் ஆல்சோ எ ஃபியூ இந்தியன்ஸ், ரைட்? இந்தியன் educationalists who worked under Hunter, right? Okay, they submitted a report on 1882, and this was called as Hunter Education Commission. இதுல வந்து புதுசா எதுவும் கிடையாது. This was to check the implementation of Woods dispatch. அது இதுல என்ன பண்ணாங்கன்னா எந்தெந்த இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன்ஸ்லாம் வுட்ஸ் டிஸ்பேட்சை ஃபாலோ பண்ணல அப்படின்ற ஒரு லிஸ்ட் கொடுத்தாங்க. தென் தி ஆக்ஷன்ஸ் வேர் டேக்கன் ஆன் தெம் ஆன் தோஸ் யூனிவர்சிட்டி மீன் நாட் யூனிவர்சிட்டிஸ் ஆன் தோஸ் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன்ஸ் அண்ட் வுட்ஸ் ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன் வேர் ஸ்டார்டட் ப்ராப்பர்லி ஃபாலோட். அண்ட் திஸ் வாஸ் தி important point in Hunter Education Commission. See, இதெல்லாம் நம்ம ஏன் பார்க்குறோம்னா these are all the methods or these are all the historical background for the development of English in India. So this is how English developed in India, right? And okay, then after Hunter Education Commission, there was another commission called Indian Universities Commission that was formulated in 1902, right? The Indian Universities Commission, it was a body or it was a group of scholars, educationalists appointed by Lord Curzon. I mentioned the name. Yeah, Lord Curzon. Lord Curzon appointed a commission, and it was named as Indian Universities Commission 1902. Right. The intention was this commission was to make recommendations for reforms in university education in India, particularly the higher education. Yeah, ஆஃப்டர் தி வுட்ஸ் டிஸ்பேட்ச் அண்ட் ஹண்டர் கமிஷன், என்னதான் ஹண்டர் கமிஷன் வந்து எங்கெல்லாம் வுட்ஸோட ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன் ஃபாலோ பண்ணல அப்படின்னு கண்டுபிடிச்சு சொன்னாலும், there were universities established in India for regional languages, right? Regional languagesக்காக செப்பரேட் யூனிவர்சிட்டிஸை உருவாக்க ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க. பிகாஸ் see, if there is a university established and there might be a few institutions affiliated to that university, and the university may grant fund, and they may grant fund to, I mean, according to their ideology, they can grant fund, right? So any university can autonomously function. இதெல்லாம் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணணும், மறுபடியும் ஒரு ஃபார்முலேட் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்றதுக்காக தான் இந்த இந்தியன் யூனிவர்சிட்டிஸ் கமிஷனை ஃபார்முலேட் பண்ணாங்க. ஸோ த இன்டென்ஷன் வாஸ் டு மேக் ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன்ஸ் ஃபார் ரிஃபார்ம்ஸ் இன் யூனிவர்சிட்டி எஜுகேஷன் இன் இந்தியா. Okay, then, and this commission was led by Thomas Riley. I think I mentioned the name here. If not, I have mentioned that in notes part. Anyhow, let me type that in chat box. Thomas Riley was the one who was appointed as the head of this commission. I just typed that name in chat box. Please note down. Thomas Riley was appointed as the head of this commission, Indian Universities Commission, right? And there were a few Indian scholars. They are Syed Hussain Belgrami and Justice Gurdas Banerjee. These two were other important persons who were in Indian University Commission, and they worked, right, to make changes in university education in India. I have mentioned the names. The head of the Indian University Commission was Thomas Riley, and Indian scholars on behalf of Indian representation, Syed Hussain Belgrami and Justice Gurdas Banerjee were also in the Indian University Commission group. Okay, and they have prepared set of recommendations, and they submitted the recommendations to the British government, and on their recommendation, many reformation happened in universities. Right, Indian universities started having Senate members. இப்போ நம்ம யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் செனட் மெம்பர்ஸ் அப்படின்லாம் பார்க்குறோம் இல்லையா, அந்த செனட் மெம்பர்ஸ் அப்படின்ற ட்ரெண்ட் வந்து இந்த இந்தியன் யூனிவர்சிட்டி கமிஷனோட ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன், ரைட்? அண்ட் அக்கார்டிங் டு திஸ் செனட் ரெப்ரசன்டேஷன், universities started having representatives from the affiliated colleges, right? Affiliated institutions. Yeah, அப்படின்னா only when the university has the representatives from its affiliated colleges, the proper function of university may be properly followed, right? அந்த யூனிவர்சிட்டியோட ஃபங்க்ஷன் ப்ராப்பரா இருக்குதா இல்லையான்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கு இந்த ரெப்ரசன்டேட்டிவ்ஸ்லாம் தேவைப்படுவாங்க. ஓகே, தென் one monitoring committee was appointed to check whether all universities are functioning according to the objective of British education policy in India. This is really important. Indian University Commissionல என்ன ரெக்கமெண்ட் பண்ணாங்கன்னா, ஒரு ஸ்பெஷல் மானிட்டரிங் கமிட்டியை ஃபார்முலேட் பண்ணி, அந்த கமிட்டி என்ன பண்ணோம், ஓகே எல்லா யூனிவர்சிட்டிஸும் பிரிட்டிஷ் கவர்மெண்டோட இந்தியன் எஜுகேஷன் பாலிசின்னு ஒன்று வச்சிருப்பாங்க இல்லையா, இந்தியாவில் இப்படிதான் எஜுகேஷன் இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னு, இந்த பாலிசி படி தான் யூனிவர்சிட்டிஸ்லாம் ஃபங்க்ஷன் ஆகுதா அப்படின்றத கவனிக்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு மானிட்டரிங் செல் வச்சிருந்தாங்க. ஸோ திஸ் வாஸ் ஆல், I mean, these were all recommendations of Indian University Commission. Okay, then these recommendations were enacted by Curzon as Indian University Act in 1904. So Indian University Act 1904 was passed by Curzon, right? Curzon, Lord Curzon, he was the Governor General of India, and he passed an act called Indian Universities Act 1904, following the recommendations given by Indian University Commission 1902. Right. So after this Indian University Commission, one another very important bill, Gokhale's bill. Right, we call it as Gokhale. Gokhale, you know him as a freedom fighter, and he was an educationalist, and he meticulously worked for the development of Indian education, right? And I mean, he was the one. I mean, he was one of the pioneers of the set of the set of educationalists in pre-independence who worked for the development of Indian education, right? Also, the many Indian vernaculars. Okay, on March 1911, Gokhale he presented a bill in the Legislative Council, uh, and actually that was a very stronger fight against the government. Gokhale was literally fighting against the government, British government. He prepared a bill, right? He prepared a set of arguments. அதான் பில்லுன்னு சொல்றோம். ஒரு ஆர்குமெண்ட் இது கோகுலேயோட ரிசர்ச் ஆர்குமெண்ட் தான் அந்த கோகுலேஸ் பில் அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம். So he prepared it and he strongly fought against the government. The main objective of Gokhale's bill was to make primary education free and compulsory. In those time, primary education was not free and it was not compulsory, right? On the willing of the parent and the children, they were sent to school. So what happened was many parents did not allow their children to school because family situation, right? There are many reasons, right? Even during the pandemic, many children lost their education. Dropout rate has become high during this lockdown. Okay, that is different. So the main objective of Gokhale's bill was to make primary education free and compulsory. This is number one, very important point that is, right? And there was a question in net, like Gokhale's bill. In the point I mentioned, many or question on this. Fine. Then this bill was based on Compulsory Education Act of England 1870 and 1876. See, there were two different acts in England. It was called as Compulsory Education Acts of England 1870 and revised in 1876. And he quoted these two acts and asked the government, why don't you apply these two acts in India too? Because both the countries are ruled by one crown, and why this partiality, right? And this partiality should be removed. This was Gokhale's argument. There was an act called Education Acts of England 1870, passed in 1870, revised in 1876. Gokhale mentioned these two acts in his argument and asked for the government to make the primary education free and compulsory in India, right? Okay, the compulsory primary education should be introduced in those areas where a certain percentage of boys and girls of school age between 6 and 10 was already receiving instructions. So this was his argument, right? Then அப்புறம் வேற என்ன சொன்னார் அப்படின்னா, percentage of attendance should be fixed by the Governor General in council. இது இவரோட இன்னொரு ஆர்குமெண்ட். அட்டெண்டன்ஸ் பர்சன்டேஜை ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கவர்னர் ஜெனரல் ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு. Then it should be left to the discretion of the local bodies whether to apply the act to certain areas under the jurisdiction or not. இதையும் இவரோட recommendation. Right, I mentioned all this in notes part. You can just follow it. I'll just tell you the important points in Gokhale's bill. Then local bodies should be given the right to pass this educational chess, right? And to meet out the cost of compulsory primary education should be met out by the local bodies, and local bodies should be given freedom to make it compulsory, and they can spend their amount for this compulsory education. These are all his recommendations, right? And the expenditures on education should be shared by the local bodies and provincial government in the ratio of 1:2, right? 1:2 அப்படின்னா one வந்து local bodiesum 2 வந்து governmentum, right? The union governmentum ஷேர் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்றது இவரோட recommendation. Fine. Then okay, there were many quotes he mentioned, and one important recommendation of Gokhale was guardians of the students, right, whose income is less than 10 rupees per month in those days. During 1911 it was, if the guardian's income is 10 rupees and below, they should not be asked to pay any fee. This is one of his major arguments. I'm repeating again, if the monthly income is below 10 rupees, the children should, monthly income of the guardians, parent and guardians, is less than 10 rupees, the children should not be asked to pay fee அப்படின்றது இவரோட இன்னொரு ஆர்குமெண்ட், ரைட்? ஓகே, இங்க என்னாச்சு அப்படின்னா, this bill was passed, not passed, this bill was taken to argument, and this was discussed for nearly 1 year, and finally Gokhale did not give up his argument. He was continuously arguing, and there were some situations where Gokhale was arguing alone without any support from other Indian leaders, right? Because many Indian leaders did not accept Gokhale's bill, right? Because we had caste system, right? ரொம்ப சிவியரா இருந்திருக்கும் அந்த காலத்துல caste system. See, below 10 rupees monthly income அப்படின்னா அவர் கண்டிப்பா லோ கிளாஸ் பீப்புளா இருப்பாங்க, அது லோ காஸ்ட்டை சேர்ந்த பீப்புளா இருப்பாங்க. அவங்களுக்குலாம் எஜுகேஷன் வந்துடணும்ன்றதை இந்தியன்ஸே விரும்பி இருக்க மாட்டாங்க அந்த காலத்துல. இப்பவுமே நிறைய பேர் விரும்புறது இல்ல. ஒரு இமேஜின் பண்ணி பாருங்களேன் அந்த காலத்துல எப்படி இருந்திருக்கும். So many Indians did not support Gokhale, but he did not give up and argued lonely with the British people in Parliament, right? So this was discussed for nearly 1 year. Finally, ஒரு voting வச்சாங்க. Okay, who are all supporting Gokhale's bill அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு voting வச்சாங்க. And this Gokhale's bill was defeated by 35 votes to 13. Gokhale got 13 votes, and இது வேண்டாம் அப்படின்னு அப்போஸ் பண்ணவங்க ஓட் வந்து 35 இருந்துச்சு. So it was defeated by 35 votes. So though this bill was defeated, but this was a heroic effect, right? Wonderful effect made by Gokhale. Later, we still have Gokhale's bill as models for all the bills passed in India after independence. நிறைய பில்ஸ்ல, எஜுகேஷனல் பில்ஸ்ல கோகலேயோட ஆர்குமெண்ட்டை பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் இப்போ வரைக்கும் நம்ம பில்ஸ் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம், ரைட்? ஓகே, அண்ட் okay, these are all the ways how English developed in India and how English was made popular in India, right? Okay, the remaining I'll let you for your personal study. I have given certain points for your recommendation. Please note down this, and because I don't have any notes for this, and time did not permit me, because otherwise I would have told you some more points about these further topics. Please prepare on the English language during independence movement, right? Independence movement la English eppadi use aach appadina, I'll give you one example through which you can prepare the remaining, right? You can guess what would be the other points in this will come under this point, English language during independence movement. See, you know a party called Congress, right? I'm not speaking politics here, but if I tell this, you can understand very clearly. Congress no party irukku illaya, and Congress was a group of people in the beginning, during its inception. Congress was created, right? The idea of Congress creation was this. எதுக்காக அப்படின்னா, நிறைய இந்தியன்ஸை அரெஸ்ட் பண்ணி கொண்டு போயிடுவாங்க, என்ன காரணம்னே தெரியாது, அரெஸ்ட் பண்ணி கொண்டு போயிடுவாங்க. இப்போ ரவுடிகளாம் அரெஸ்ட் பண்றாங்க இல்லையா நைட்ல போய், அந்த மாதிரி இந்தியன் லீடர்ஸ் நிறைய பேர் அரெஸ்ட் பண்ணிடுவாங்க. அந்த அவங்களோட பேரண்ட்டுக்கோ அவங்கள சுத்தி இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கோ படிக்க தெரியாது. ஸோ யாராவது ஒருத்தர் லெட்டர் எழுதி கொடுக்கணும். ஓகே, மை சன் ஹாஸ் நாட் டன் anything wrong today, but he was arrested for no reason, please send him out அப்படின்னு ஒரு லெட்டர் எழுதி கொடுக்கணும். இந்த ரெப்ரசன்டேஷனுக்காக தான் காங்கிரஸ் அப்படின்னு ஒரு பார்ட்டியை கிரியேட் பண்ணாங்க. ஆக்சுவலி மகாத்மா காந்தி he wanted to dissolve காங்கிரஸ் பார்ட்டி ஆஃப்டர் இண்டிபெண்டன்ஸ். காங்கிரஸ் அப்படின்ற ஒரு இயக்கம் இருக்கக்கூடாது அப்படின்னு காந்தி நினைச்சாரு. அன்பார்ச்சுனேட்லி ஆர் ஃபார்ச்சுனேட்லி he was killed right soon after the independence, and we still have the party now. அதோட நிலைமை என்னன்னு நமக்கு தெரியும் நார்த்ல. Fine, that is fine. We should not speak politics here.